Recorded Books Incorporated presents an unabridged recording of The Last Camel Died at Noon by Elizabeth Peters, narrated by Barbara Rosenblat. This book, copyrighted 1991 by Elizabeth Peters, is recorded by permission of Dominic Abel Literary Agency Incorporated. This performance is copyrighted 1991 by Recorded Books Incorporated. In the deserts of the Sudan, among ancient Egyptian ruins along the banks of the Nile, Amelia Peabody, her obstinate, eminently charming husband Radcliffe Emerson, and Ramses, their precocious son, unearthed more secrets than they had intended in their archaeological endeavor. Rich in eccentric historical characters, such as Field Marshal Kitchener, Sirdar of the Egyptian army, the Mahdi, and Slatin Pasha, the story unfolds during the River War as Kitchener's army rolls south up the Nile. The actual campaign was begun in 1896, and, with her usual attention to historical and geographical detail, Elizabeth Peters places her characters in the year 1897, on the east bank of the Nile in the Egyptian Sudan. The site favored by Emerson, Meroe, was the capital of the Ethiopian kings of Napata. Meroe is one of the world's most famous ruins, containing royal palaces, temples, shrines, as well as spectacular burial pyramids of more than 50 kings and queens and countless Ethiopian nobles. At the time of the Emerson expedition, however, the site had only been surveyed by the famous German Egyptologist Carl Richard Lepsius, some 50 years earlier. Thus Emerson is anxious to explore and excavate what he predicts will hold a wealth of artifacts and information. Over his wife's objections, he declares, "Think of it, Peabody, to investigate not only the continuation of that mighty civilization, but perhaps its roots as well." What they discover along the way, in precarious, newly occupied territory, in the vast desert, and in the lands of a mysterious tribe, perhaps the descendants, the very continuation of that mighty civilization Emerson seeks, is not the oasis of archaeological delights anticipated, but rather a flirtation with danger, outrivaling all the adventuresome family's previous predicaments. And now, The Last Camel Died at Noon.
Book 1. Chapter 1. I told you this was a harebrained scheme. Hands on hips, brows lowering, Emerson stood gazing fixedly at the recumbent ruminant. A sympathetic friend, if camels have such, which is doubtful, might have taken comfort in the fact that scarcely a ripple of agitated sand surrounded the place of its demise. Like the others in the caravan, of which it was the last, it had simply stopped, sunk to its knees, and passed on, peacefully and quietly. Conditions, I might add, that are uncharacteristic of camels alive or moribund. Those conditions are also uncharacteristic of Emerson. To the readers who have encountered my distinguished husband in the flesh